Yes, people, welcome back to Never a Foul. Make sure you do two things for me, people. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe because we've got 3 special guests in the building that are going to be talking Aston Villa and Man City because Ollie Watkins is going to ruin them, isn't he, right? What do you mean? He's got 8 goals in the Prem already. I mean, Haaland's got 13. But then again, Jude Spurs, not looking that good. But Arsenal are top. So don't come with me that attitude. We'll talk later. We might not talk later because we're going to talk now. That's Manchester City travelled.
They didn't like me, to be fair. They handled it better than I.
Yeah, true. Big up the L's, even though your daughter did say that I said, which one looks like me and show him which 2 I gave the comparison of and which one she said looked like me, Daps. Go on, you can show him.
The options were?
Well, definitely not that.
This one?
The most likely answer, but the actual answer was which one?
But my daughter thought that this one looked like Ty. So that's another one. You look like Redmond, McGoldrick. Neymar before McGoldrick. Hold on, McGoldrick.
yeah. and now the French Bulldog. But yeah, guys, it's that festive spirit. So make sure you do like the video. We're here to talk Aston Villa, Man City because this is a big game of football. And to be fair, neutrals looking forward to it. Man City fans maybe
looking forward to it.
Yeah, rivals looking forward to it. I'll say Aston Villa fans are.
Yeah, probably we're not.
But maybe not Manchester City fans. Yeah.
No, we're not.
It's a big one. Do you know what? Let's get straight into the main course because you guys have drawn three in a row in the Premier League. 3 in a row. Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs. Are you actually worried? Because I'm not asking this because of what you do at the end of the season. We know what you do at the end of the season, but the complacency, is that something that you're actually concerned about?
Yeah, I'm concerned about. I'll be honest, it's something I've always said about, and everyone says we know what City do at the end of the season. But what is that a God-given right that we do that at the end of every season? Or are the players starting to believe, it's fine, we do that at the end of every season? Yeah,
good way of looking at it.
The last time that a team won the league apart from City, they got so far ahead of us, right? Remember the season Liverpool won the league? Mm-hmm. City were cold.
Yeah.
City were cold the second half of the season, right? First half of the season we weren't, and Liverpool ran away with it. And this is a thing that, we've dropped points to Arsenal, we've dropped points to Wolves, we've dropped points to Liverpool, we've dropped points to Tottenham, we've dropped points to Chelsea, right? And now we have to go to Villa away, and Luton away, who Liverpool dropped points at, right? So they're not too, and we're having to go without Grealish,
Doku,
without Rodri. So am I worried? Yeah, because Villa in form, home form's great. We're not in form, and do you know what? The thing is, I know there's a stat that City, I think, we only ever lose 2 games in a row, then we bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
But this draw thing, I don't know about a stat like that. But it's more the complacency that worries me.
Because when you look at it,
spoke about it as well after the game.
And he's experienced in that dressing room now.
First half against Leipzig, we were awful. Second half, good.
Yeah.
First half against Liverpool, I thought we were good. Second half, we got complacent. Then again, Chelsea, complacent. We're going ahead, but we're not killing games off.
And what do you think the key is to that? Because for me, right, and it might sound premature to some people, but I actually think, and I spoke about this the last few weeks, I said that City have won games this season, and I've always said to you, they haven't been at their best. But it doesn't matter because I think the best teams show that they can win games when they're not at their best.
100%.
Now, Julian Alvarez, for me, I'm not just singling him out and saying he's been bad because I think he's had a very strong start to the season. Yeah. However, he was playing in that sort of number 10 role. He's been lingering in behind Haaland. It worked for a period. But for me now, I feel like when he's in them period, especially in some of the big games, the Chelsea game was quite quiet, Liverpool game quite quiet, the Spurs game quite quiet. Kevin De Bruyne, for me, I think at the moment, it's now showing how much of a miss he is. And I think you need him back quicker than people think. And I don't know how you feel of it as a City fan, but De Bruyne shows how important he is.
For me, I'm not looking at De Bruyne's importance. I'm not looking at Alvarez not being so good. I'm not looking at.
But I'm thinking of you killing off games and the creativity.
Maybe that's that. But for me, what I repeatedly say is it's about controlling the game, right? If you control the game in midfield, teams don't get chances, right? I'll keep saying this. Last season, you look at the treble-winning team, right?
Mm.
We had Stones, defender, coming into midfield,
Yep.
control. Rodri, Gundogan, midfielder, control. De Bruyne, midfielder, control. Jack Grealish, wide left. Yes, he's a winger, but coming in and giving that possession.
Bernardo,
that
control.
Right? Stones hasn't been playing. This is a stat. Every single game we have dropped points in this season, Jack Grealish and John Stones have not started.
Okay.
Every single game, right? Now, I'm not saying because...
Yeah, it's just them, but the
it's
pattern's
part
clear.
of the system. They know the system, right? Gundogan's not here no more. Stones has hardly been playing. De Bruyne's been injured. And then we're playing Alvarez and Foden, not as midfielders, more as 10s, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, we've got less players that know the system. And then we've also got the fact that we're playing two kind of players, because we're playing Doku as a winger, but then we're playing Alvarez and Foden, so almost we're playing a front four. Again, less control in midfield. And that's what I think it is. And I do also think there's complacency.
Yeah.
There is complacency. And then finally, and someone said it yesterday, that if you haven't got control in midfield, then that puts more pressure on your defence. And in the defence right now, if you look at the defence that won the league, Ake, Diaz, Akanji, Stones.
Yeah.
That's changed. Vardio on the left.
Because you've been, but it's mad because you've been.
Captain's changed as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's mad one with the defence because I think you conceded 10 in the last 4.
Yep.
And the captain's changed, obviously different leadership. Yep. Kyle Walker there now. De Bruyne's not there at the moment, but then the leadership falls on sort of like the Edison and Diaz's, who are still relatively young in football terms, like good ages. The defence thing's interesting because I don't look at Pep's teams as always being, you know, you can create easy chances against them. At the moment, there are easy chances. And you could say, obviously, Rodri's in there at the moment, but the support of Kovacic, he hasn't been fully fit like he was at the start of the season. The defence, Gvardiol's been playing at the moment, and Aki comes on. You got Akanji playing there. Do you feel like the swapping and changing of defences is maybe not getting them partnerships together? Or is it just complacency through the whole team? Because conceding the way you are at the moment, I'm even quite shocked as a United fan watching them. I'm thinking, do you know what? If Spurs maybe just had some of their key players back,
they would have won the game.
Yeah, they would have won the game.
No, they would have won the game.
Exactly. So
for me,
what does he change? What does he do?
Right, we'll move on to against Villa, but I think also the back end of the season we hardly changed that defence. We hardly changed the full 11.
Yeah,
because it was like right now before Diaz landed. Defensively, we were looking a bit shaky. Yeah, Diaz came in, and ever since Diaz came in, struck up that relationship with John Stones, changed everything. Now
he's not looking the same.
Who?
Diaz.
No, because he hasn't got the ball. This is the whole thing. It's not looking right. I also think so far, Walker hasn't shown me anything that makes me think amazing captain. Right.
Can I ask you something while we're live and direct?
Yeah.
So you said, because I said Diaz has not been the same. You said, yeah, because Stones is not next to him. So do you feel like, and this is comparing the two, Diaz needs Stones more than Stones needs Diaz if you're playing in Man City?
They both need each other. I don't think there's a... Do you know what? And I'll even go as far as I think Rodri needs Stones next to him, right? Because when you've got players that know and are confident in the person they have next to them, like Rodri knows this is where Stones goes forward and I drop back. Or Stones knows this is where Rodri goes forward and I drop back. They know how it works. Same with Diaz. And it's partnerships. To win leagues, you need a solid DM and you need partnerships. In
the right to Liber Gabriel, what Arsenal got at the moment.
Going forward, yeah, it's creative, and you know what, you can throw different players in, it will work. But defensively, it has to be a unit, and you have to know what each other's doing, know how they play. Now, if before a ball had been kicked this season, I could tell you the back four that I would want. Right, Ake left, Vardiol, Diaz, Stones.
Okay,
right?
So that's the back four. Yeah,
I will repeat that right now.
That's what you want to see.
I'm looking forward to. And listen, this isn't a disrespect to Kyle Walker. And there will be games like last season where I want Kyle Walker to come back in, right? And do those games where it goes, do you know what? We need to go back to a straight back four with Kyle Walker as a right back so that if they counter, Walker is there, right? Those games, like exactly when he came in for the Real Madrid game.
City to be City.
But I want
Stones inverted.
That back four.
Yep.
And I would give De Bruyne back in, give De Bruyne the armband.
Okay.
Right? And then have a midfield of Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo.
Yep.
And then I would have Doku or Grealish.
Yep.
Haaland.
Foden
or Alvarez.
Okay,
off
fair.
The right. And that is how I want to see it. And also, by the way, I do think if we're talking Villa right now, De Bruyne is not back in. I want to see Rico start. Where it looks like when Cass is next to me, by the way. Yesterday, was I not saying in the second half from early doors, we need Rico on for energy? Because that first half we pressed so well.
Yeah, and then they made their and you know what? It was so interesting because they made their change of Højbjerg coming on, and I think he gave Spurs that sort of solidity, like compactness that they can keep the ball. Basim was able to travel with it, and they made that little tweak. But we're going into the Villa game now, and as much as obviously City need to make their changes, or in a sense they need to get a result, you're going to a Villa team now, which I want to touch on them and give them respect because they've won, I think. They've not lost in 14 at home at the moment, all competitions. I think in the Premier League, they've been very good as well. Unai Emery's got them playing. Ollie Watkins at the moment is probably in the best form of his life in terms of he's a complete striker right now. Ollie Watkins can run the channels. He can hold the ball up. He's finishing at the moment. His equaliser the other day was a banger in terms of a header, great header. I just think that you're going to Villa Park without Rodri, who suspended people. They've got no Grealish, no Doku. Timing is a weird thing in football, and
Foden
I think
on the left.
Foden on the left potentially. But I think when I look at Villa, they'll be sniffing at his fans as a perfect opportunity for them. You've got Diaby and Bailey who get in them little pockets where Rodri would normally be, and I just think that Villa, you're going to cause them problems, but I think Villa will cause you problems. And when we're touching on your defence now, and you're saying about the wobbliness at the moment, we're talking about 10 goals conceded in 4 games. Do you fear Ollie Watkins going into this game, or if you don't fear him, who is the person you think can make a difference for Villa?
You know what? I can still, this is the one thing I can consistently say. I fear us not being the best Manchester City. That's what I fear. But right now, that's not because we're playing Villa. If we were playing, we got Luton next week, right? Again, I've seen the way Luton play against Liverpool when they were up for it, that if we go there and we're not on job, we could drop points there. That this is the thing. If we're not the best City, and this is, Pep needs a reaction. Now, because since the international break, we played Chelsea before the international break, we've played Liverpool, we've played Leipzig. All of those games we haven't been good. Great second half against Liverpool, great first half against Spurs. Liverpool's an average game. But we need a reaction. Now, for me, I would be playing. I want to see Stones come in. I think that's very important. He's been on the bench the last 3 games, right? So for me, that should mean Stones should be able to come in and play as a defender. I would then want to see in front of him, and this is where it's hard. I really want to see Rico Lewis start
alongside Kovacic, like the Arsenal midfield. I can't
see
no, so you don't.
And I don't want to see Rico alongside Calvin Phillips either.
Yeah, he's definitely not playing. I think Kovacic plays. I think he does play.
Kovacic has to play.
and Rico. And then the problem
Bernardo has to be Bernardo next to him. Bernardo has to be there to give them the energy. He has to be there. And furthermore, after watching his post-match game yesterday, he has to be there, Bernardo. The other two, I mean, is
Foden will play.
I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I'm giving it Phillips over Kovacic.
Wow, big game away at Villa. No minutes in the tank.
Phillips sit there and do. Yeah. But the instructions to Phillips are very clear. Be a destroyer. Be a DM. Right? I'm not asking you to do what Rodri does. Yeah. Okay. We're going Villa away.
So Phillips must start.
Villa away. A bit like last season when our form was bad. Go back to basics, yeah? We need a DM. Sit there and be a DM for this game, and then have Bernardo and Rico in front of him with the legs, because that's energy.
There you go. If you're watching Calvin, you have got the call up from Daps. But we'll just quickly touch on, obviously, the final bits. When you look at...
do you want to talk on Haaland?
Yeah, if you want to, obviously, yeah, of course. I was just going to say to you quickly, answering the question, because I know we spoke, where do you see Villa hurting you? Because I want to just touch on the opposition. When you look at Villa and how good they've been... Yeah,
because that's how everyone's hurt us.
Okay, so the Diabys, the Baileys on the break, and Watkins, and you feel like they can get some joy.
Yeah. They've got Watkins on the break, and that's where everyone has got us. Well, how can people get a City? It's not going to be just
dominate on the ball and do that. No, it's got to be. And I think Villa have actually stylistically got the players like that. Diaby, the Baileys, the Watkins, they can do that on the break. But yeah, he's got legs. John McGinn's got legs as well.
Second half we look tired as well. So there is things that people said that Cass definitely said to me a lot of, when you're going for a 4-peat, complacency. We're tired from last season, and we've got to remember our season lasted 2 weeks longer than everyone else. We started a week before. We've already had the Super
That's why you didn't have a busy preseason. You're smart.
We've already had the Super Cup.
Yeah,
we're gonna have the Club World Cup. We look tired, so
it's busy. Let you touch on Haaland before we wrap up. Yeah, like the video, people. Make sure you are subscribing as well, and also please check out our NAF reactions channel down below, right there. Nearly 1,000 subscribers. Thank you.
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. There we go.
But on Haaland, look, I understand when people say he had 2 chances yesterday, he should have scored.
Do you know, I'm not getting on to him. And another day, Dapsy scores them.
But you're not an agenda merchant.
Okay.
There's agenda merchants out there, and there are also Manchester City fans that are going, yeah, well, no, listen. Right now, we conceded 2 against Leipzig.
Yep.
We scored 3 against Tottenham, didn't win. We scored 4 against Chelsea
didn't win.
and didn't win.
Yeah, innit? You're United now.
Yeah. Bro, yesterday's second half, we looked like prime shit Man United, right? But
Manchester Society.
Then people want to come with, oh, if Haaland would have scored those 2 chances, we would have won it. Yeah, cool. But in a game of football, you should not need to score 5 goals to win a game, right? We scored 3. Yeah, Haaland's assisted 2 of them, and actually that pass for the Greenish one was a
sorry. I'm not gonna lie. If that was United, I'm losing my shit. No. Do you know what? There's a way. What I like about it is that you're not, and this is what I think you're thinking, which I like. City had 94 minutes to win the game. So if people are going to pin it on that one opportunity to say, oh, that's why we didn't win, I agree with that angle. But in the moment, you're fuming. But I agree with you. You had 94 minutes.
With you, I wasn't fuming at the ref because I was fuming at the fact that we were 3-2
and you let Kulusevski just dunk on Aki like that. Yeah,
that's what I'm fuming about. I'm fuming about the performance, and to instantly, it's almost like, oh, here you go. Here's an excuse. Go with that. No, we should not have let it get to that. But just to defend Haaland, for me, not only did he get the assists, it's also the fact that. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, full.
Right, okay. So for me, in that second half, where a lot of our players looked flat, tired, didn't care, almost, Haaland was still running.
Yeah, he was. He was getting mad. He was getting frustrated.
Yeah, and he cares. So for City fans to come out and rivals to come out and say, oh, Haaland should... Yeah, maybe he should have scored then, but quite simply, we should not be conceding 3 goals. And instead of talking about Rodri,
and in the last 5 minutes conceding...
Let's just talk about Haaland. No, forget that, man. Listen, Haaland cares. It's very clear to see he cares. And just the one thing I will say on referees that I think is absolutely shit, from the Premier League, is... So basically, City are in trouble for their reaction. And this isn't just about City. The same as when, the decisions we've had and everyone needs to say, let's not make it about club bias. Let's all stick together. That basically, the City players react like a human, right? And they're in trouble. But the referee, he's not in trouble because he made a human error. So what? We're not allowed to be humans, but referees are. And I just think do you know what? If referees are allowed to make errors, which they've admitted was an error, you have to understand, players aren't angry, they're frustrated.
Yeah.
I can't stand when people accuse you of
What
being
do they think this is? Just rugby where you just got to sit there and obey everything? I'm sorry. That's why I don't like it when the game goes. You want to see that though. I want to see passionate football. I want to see frustration.
What are you supposed to do? Go, never mind.
More passion, more energy. Yeah. No, you do want to see it. I think fairly and rightly said. We're going to wrap it up there because I think it is a big game. I think when I look at it, it's a massive game because I feel like you're 3 points behind obviously Arsenal already, who should be beating Luton on paper by the time we're recording this. So it could be technically 6 points behind. I know it's still quite early, but them points do matter. And I think Villa are going to be playing at the moment with some confidence. I think they're going to go there and see that it's an opportunity. But I like it because I think it's poisely balanced because you don't know what Villa you're going to see against City and you don't know what City you're going to see against Villa. So bounce back, can it be for City? Or will Villa continue their home winning run? Make sure you like...
Sorry to cut you, but they go above them.
And on that note, that makes it even more a bigger game. Villa go above City if they win. Like, subscribe, never a foul. You know where we are.